Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Jump Off Sides Podcast. I'm Ed,
I'm Los.
and this episode we're going to do a Week 6 recap of all the games. Pretty standard. There were some pretty good games going on there, but yeah, let's kick it off.
Yeah, first things first, I think we have to discuss Aiden Hutchinson. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully he comes back to football whenever he's ready. That was a gruesome injury to see, and
It was fluky too, man.
Yeah, it
Very
was.
fluky.
Yeah, so hopefully he's good, and hopefully he comes back to football because watching him was pretty exciting, honestly. So, yeah, Week 6 was a little intense. It's gonna get a little crazier, probably. Hopefully, coming in the next couple of weeks, just before the deadline, the trade deadline.
Yeah,
So
hopefully no other fluky injuries like that.
that too, yeah. So yeah, let's kick it off. I mean, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's go ahead and talk about the struggling Seattle Seahawks, who have dropped another one. This time in San Fran. Injuries in that secondary. San Fran. It looked like they were going to blow the lead at one point.
Yeah.
But Geno had probably his worst game in about the last 2 years.
I was watching the game, and you know what they said? It was his birthday. So it was his birthday.
Oh no!
They said happy birthday, Geno, which was crazy.
Dang.
49ers almost blew the lead again. The Seahawks started getting hot. I think a lot of problems that they had was he was targeting DK way too much, and he was locked up.
Yeah, force feeding DK for sure.
And then there was a couple of passes maybe he could have caught or just a little inaccurate. So that was most of the game, honestly. They started off terribly, just losing the ball in the beginning and letting the 49ers just go crazy. And then Jordan Mason got hurt, and those two other running backs, they stepped up. I think it was Patrick and Durango. And, they did their thing as well. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that the Seahawks lost, to be honest. I picked them, but, 49ers have a little bit of an upper hand, especially with that offense that they have. So,
for sure. I think 49ers, both teams definitely dealing with injuries. I think the 49ers just have a bit more depth.
Yeah.
And again, this is Mike McDonald's, first year coaching.
Yeah.
His offensive coordinator is also first year in the NFL as offense coordinator. So
gotcha. Okay.
Seahawks, it's gonna struggle a bit, but I think once they get some of their horses back, it'll be good. Their offensive line needs some help a bit as well.
Yeah.
They're not doing them any favors.
But I don't see them making playoffs just because the Rams are still doing decently without their stars, and they're gonna get their stars back here soon.
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to struggle in this division. I think them and the Cardinals got to get dealt the crappy hand. So
I think is with the way, and as a side note, with the way the NFC North is rolling right now, it might be one team from every other division, and you may not get two from the other divisions.
Yeah.
I think all four of the NFC North might
be able to lock it in,
but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's still Week 6, so. Yeah, I mean, that game was fun to watch, and I think we called it right. We said it was going to be over 49.5. I think that's what the line was.
Yeah.
And it ended up at, 60 or something like that?
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game overall, like I said. At the beginning, it was kind of slow and everything, but the Seahawks picked it up. Yeah, that was probably one of the better games of the weekend. So, you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, off to London, across the pond in Tottenham Stadium.
That was not one of the better games.
Jacksonville stinks. Their receivers dropped four touchdown passes.
And 3 of them were on the same drive, honestly. So
literally,
it was
just, oh man.
The Caleb prayer, the praise is there. I mean, everybody's hyping them right now, but again, it was a bad Jaguars team. So
it was a bad Jaguars team. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to the offense for Chicago for exploiting a bad defense.
Yeah, Cole Kmet and Keenan Allen had their day, so good for them. I think the Jaguars still have a lot of things to figure out. Travis Etienne got hurt. We didn't see him for part of the game, and Tank Bigsby really didn't help out. So, a lot of things to figure out. Evan Ingram came back finally, though, and he had 10 catches for 100+ yards.
It just seems like everybody on that team underperforms.
Yeah, except Evan Ingram.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, they paid Kirk, right? They paid Gabe Davis. It doesn't seem like they're doing enough because
a rookie
Davis
on the team.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I didn't know he was on the team until the announcer said his name. Yeah, No, I think Brian Thomas is definitely the shining wide receiver right now.
Absolutely.
I think he stepped up, and they needed somebody to step up. But again, I mean, you're paying those other guys way too much money for them just to not show up and maybe catch a touchdown once every 3 games or something like that. Even Evan Ingram is, like I said, he's been out hurt most of the season. Now he comes back and he has a decent game. So, yeah. Not surprised that the Bears won. I think they're going to keep this momentum going. We'll see what happens week 7, but
Bears on a bye week 7 because they're coming back from.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. So week 8, we'll see who their opponent is and what happens.
Yeah. Jacksonville, Peterson. His seat is blazing hot right now.
I mean, he still has a job.
Yeah, he still has a job. Yeah. If they lose 1 or 2 more, the Peterson era might be done. I just can't see any owner hanging on to a 1-win team when you have pretty decent roster.
Yeah.
I think the GM and the head coach will need to go.
For sure. I mean, something's got to change. They got to bring in somebody who's going to, take this team to the next level, grab them and just lift them up. I don't think the GM is doing what I've heard a lot of. I watch all these sports casts and everything like that, and they're saying that the GM wants his guy there at the head coaching, and there's like a disconnect between the coaches and the GM. So probably. I don't know if that's really the case or not. It's always speculation, but there definitely seems that there's like an issue, and I don't know where it is, whether it's the coaching, whether it's the GM, but something's got to get figured out. Whether it be one or both of them gone, something's got to change for this team to do better, because now they're just wasting the talent that is Trevor Lawrence. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's like, the crazy CJ Stroud.
Yeah, he's definitely has talent. He can play.
There's a reason why he got paid. So
he can play.
Yeah.
And he can play better than this.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side, I mean, we already talked about it. Bears offense, good. Defense, they did their thing as well. Can't say much about it. I mean, we gotta kind of go more in depth with a better opponent, I think.
For sure. But a win's a win.
What's going on. But a win is a win. Yes, absolutely. So, next game. But before that, subscribe, put your your comments down below. Let us know what's going on. And any feedback is much appreciated. All right.
All right. Green Bay, Arizona. Arizona is just it's a week-to-week team. You never know what you're going to get. You're either going to get super Kyler Murray, K1, or you're going to get just bad Kyler Murray. Yeah. And it's just, Green Bay is just not a team where you can just be lackadaisical. Jordan Love is channeling his inner Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, just throwing up prayers, backside shoulders. Crazy for Romeo Doubs to get suspended and then come back and catch
and have a game like that. Yeah,
I should have picked him up in fantasy. I'm kind of sad that I didn't, but it is what it is. Green Bay looked good. They're getting their feet back together. In Arizona, getting exposed with that bad defense that they got, and it's just I don't know what to make of them. Man.
After this season, they got to focus heavy on getting the defense together.
Any pass rushers and corners, man.
Yeah, I think their offense is decent. I mean, I'm not saying they have the best offense in the league, right? But I mean, you got Marvin Harrison who's showing up, right? You got Michael Wilson, who's a decent number 2, a slot receiver. Then you got Trey McBride as well, who's arguably one of the best tight ends in the league, like top 10 at least, right? So for sure. So I think they just really got to figure out that defense, and that's for most of the teams in this league. I mean, a lot of points are being given up by a lot of these teams, and something's got to change. I mean, it used to be stronger defenses win games, all that, but it really has been offenses just going back out with 2 minutes left, minute and a half left, and going to score.
Situational football. Yeah.
Exactly. So, which is a complete change from what it used to be. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think the Packers look good. Like you said, the whole NFC North looks good. Arizona, they got things to figure out. I mean, it's a new coach, right? They're still growing. They're
Second year, yeah.
They're still in a rebuild again. But I think James Conner needs to help out, and either he stays with the team after this year or he goes to another one. I mean, I want him to win a chip. I'm not gonna lie, just because of who he is and kind of what he's been through, right?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Not all players that have been amazing get to win that. So, overall decent game. Not surprised the Packers won, though. I don't think you are either. So
nah, definitely not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, so the next game, it was the Colts versus Tennessee. We finally got Will Levis back. You know, the little Spider-Man. Yeah. I was
Yo,
electric.
he's so.
What an
Oh my
electric
gosh,
game, and just because of that. No.
dude, did you see him take out the ball guy?
Yeah. Poor Paul guy. He got carted off. They I think they put the I don't know what it is.
The air cast.
The air cast over his
Dude,
his
Will
leg
Levis is a
too.
menace to the whole football field. Bro.
No, I mean, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He ain't looked back or nothing after that happened too. He was focused on the game. Colts look good with Joe Flacco. Not that good, but better, right?
Hey, the resurgence of Joe Flacco,
yeah.
Super Bowl champion.
What I'm
Joe
hearing
Flacco.
though is week 7 we might see Anthony Richardson back.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, so we'll see how the Colts go from there. It's really hard to gauge these teams when they have a quarterback that's in and out.
Yeah,
and then you got the veteran that making them look good, right? I mean, same thing with the Panthers. You got a veteran that stepped in and he's making them look a little bit better. Still losing,
yeah,
right? But still looking better, right?
What's crazy is Tennessee's defense statistically is actually top 15.
Right?
They're actually pretty good. It's just that they can't get nothing going on the offense.
Yeah, and Jamal Adams actually got released today this morning. So
he did.
He asked for a release and they granted it for him. So I think that's a blow for them as well. I mean, that's a safety that historically was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say it, but historically he was good. But
he's been to the laundromat a couple times too many. New England versus Houston. Houston comes with the dub, but Drake May looked pretty decent in his debut.
Yeah, I mean, it started off a little slow and everything, but that's a given when you make your first NFL start. He looked good overall. I mean, of course, he threw a couple picks.
Yeah, one was a fluky one though.
Yeah, one was, and then you got to keep in mind that offensive line didn't help him out. Will Anderson had a hat trick of sacks, so yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, I like kind of where they're headed. I mean, it's growing pains for the franchise, obviously. So,
for sure.
Yeah, things are just gonna have to get better up there in New England. But I mean, Texans still looking great. Still looking playoff bound, Super Bowl bound. Joe Mixon came back and he demolished the New England defense. So, yeah.
Hey, no Nico Collins.
No problem.
Tank Dell said, "Give me the rock. I want it."
Yeah,
that was great. Great pickup. Look, we always knew the wide receiver core was deep. The Texans are a very, very good team, and they took advantage of a weak team in the Patriots starting a rookie quarterback with a bad offensive line. So, Texans still looking like the top team out there in the league. Super Bowl bound is great. I feel like there are a lot of teams that could make Super Bowl. There's actually a couple teams that I even want to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I want a couple teams to win the Super Bowl. It's hard to choose, but Texans are definitely up there. Great win by them. Not much to it.
No.
They keep rolling.
They keep rolling, and we'll see how they do in the next couple weeks. We're waiting for Nico Collins to come back because that's a destructive weapon. I mean, he had the highest receiving yards before he got hurt. So
for sure.
And nobody still has surpassed him yet.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans, the debut of Spencer Rattler, another rookie pick
QB,
this year.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we watched QB1, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, I don't even know how long.
Man, years. But anyway, Spencer looked okay, all things considered.
Baker was baking.
Yeah, Baker was baking.
Yeah, they lost Olave, big hit to their offense. I mean, I think Rashid Shaheed was hurt.
Injured,
yeah, he's not going to be here for week 7, so that's rough. Tampa Bay, I mean, they just kept rolling. They're doing their thing, which is outstanding. Baker's baking, like we said. Don't get me wrong, Rattler didn't look too bad, like you said, against a good team like the Bucks as well. So, yeah, we just got to see him against another opponent, maybe someone a little easier. I think they put the Jets in week 7. No.
I think, yeah.
No, the Jets are playing the Steelers. Oh, they're playing the Broncos tonight, actually. Yeah, so we're going to make our pick on that one, too.
Later,
yeah, I mean, not much to say. I mean, he looked decent, but again,
I kind of do have a problem with the Bucks giving up 27 to a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean,
but it's the NFL. I mean, come on now,
they gave up 27, but then they put up
51. They put up 51, but it's just this just goes to show you if you let a rookie QB sit for a little bit, they're gonna be better for it.
I think
if
so
they have
too.
talent.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's such a hyper productive league. They just want instant results.
Yeah.
But I digress. It was a good game, shootout. Baker baked. Tampa offense looked great. Their defense still a bit suspect, but it is what it is. Spencer Rattler looked good. He'll be getting the start, I think, again tonight.
Yeah, because Derek Carr's still not back. So
yeah, but it's gonna be tough for him because she's gonna be out for a couple weeks,
and Olave's
not playing. So Taysom Hill, everybody.
I think he's still hurt too.
Dang. Okay.
So Alvin Kamara, everybody.
Dang. Look, if the Saints lose a couple more, they might be sellers at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You never know. Shout out Tampa. Great win, and just keep it rolling.
Yeah. Next game is going to be hilarious to talk about, the Eagles versus the Browns.
Oh my gosh.
The Eagles almost lost that game, which is wild. They only beat them by 4 points.
4 points.
Insane. You come back from a bye a little healthier. Your star wide receivers are back, and you almost lose to the worst team in the NFL. Wow.
The Browns have not scored, I believe, on 29 straight possessions or something like that.
No, it's the
touchdowns.
Third down.
They have not converted 26 or 29 straight.
Yeah.
Third down conversions.
Correct.
The Eagles lost by 4 points.
No, they won by 4 points.
They won by 4 points.
Chill out.
It's almost a loss. They won by 4 points to the worst.
Praying for their downfall.
Oh my God. I am praying for the downfall.
Look, and
so sad.
One big thing that happened after this loss was Amari Cooper going to the Bills.
Yes.
So
Cleveland might be traded. Oh my gosh.
And you know what? That was actually a steal.
Just can't figure it out, man.
Yeah. So I mean, Amari Cooper, he's on the league minimum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's only making like $900K.
Bills definitely stole that, about $800K, right?
Yeah.
And the Browns paid most of his salary this year as a signing bonus.
That's why the Bills are only paying a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's an overall great trade for the Bills. The Browns, they barely got any capital back. I think a third
rounder.
A conditional sixth.
You know what's funny is Jahan Dotson was traded for a third rounder.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah. So
the Eagles are taking L's everywhere.
Eagles got fleeced.
Oh my
Browns
gosh.
actually got more than what they gave up to get him in the first place.
Very true.
So I think the Browns won the trade, but either way, they're not winning any games this year, it seems like. So
as long as Deshaun Watson is playing, Browns are not winning any of those games. Because the Eagles would have lost this game with Jameis Winston in there.
Yeah.
I thoroughly think so, because the Browns stink. Their defense is still good, as you can see, but I think the Eagles stink as well. And Nick Sirianni is just a clown of a coach. How are you chirping at your own home fans after a win?
No comment.
Dog. Hey, look, man. Hey, it is what it is.
I could go on a rant about the Eagles all day. Really, I could talk about how trash they are, how inconsistent they are, how many issues they have with the coaching, the QB, the running back.
Is
Saquon.
Howie Roseman overrated? Is Howie Roseman overrated?
Don't get me wrong; they have talent. It's just one. It's either one thing or another.
They have talent,
week.
But they don't have a team.
I think you're actually right about that. They got a bunch of rookies on the secondary for the defense, and
is Cooper DeJean playing?
He is actually. Everybody's hyping him up, but whatever. I don't care about that right now. I want to see performance. I want to see results.
I want to see Actually, I don't want to see convincing wins, but as a football fan, you want to see convincing wins.
That was not convincing whatsoever. It just made me think like they're in crisis mode. So, good luck to the Eagles. We'll talk about you here soon again.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
And then Browns, I don't know what to say to you. Just chalk it up and hope for a better next year. Moving on to a game that was exciting, a game that I was physically there for. It's going to be the Ravens versus the Commanders.
Yeah, how was the game? You were there. How was it?
I was there, but I was not there. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely just remember cheering and having a great time with the people around me, and that's it. So,
and that's all we're gonna say about that.
Yeah. No, but Derrick Henry looked great. 2 touchdowns, right? He was running on the Commanders' defense, which is obviously like what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Commanders' defense still got things to figure out. Closer game than I thought.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like the point spread was correct because they were 7 or 6 point favorites.
It was like 6.5 dogs, yeah.
I mean, but Commanders got a field goal blocked at the end of the first half. But other than that, I'd say they hung in there pretty well against a Super Bowl contending team. Baltimore is honestly my pick to win the Super Bowl because the way they have the ability to run the football with Lamar and Derrick Henry and Justice Hill, and then Bateman and
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers are showing out as well. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. I think they finally have the perfect pieces to go win the chip.
Texas going to get their get back. Nah, they're going to get their get back. All right? Last season, I went to watch both times the Texans were here for the first game of the season in the playoffs, and they lost both. So they're going to get their get back. If we see the Ravens back in the playoffs, then we're getting our get back. All right.
All right. It's to be determined, but honestly, great game by the Ravens. Great game offensively by the Commanders.
Yeah.
We knew that defense wasn't going to be able to stop King Henry for a while, for the whole game. So, honestly, exciting for both teams, especially in this DMV area. That you got two quarterbacks and two teams that are one is at the top and then one that is getting closer to the top. That's what you need. So.
Yeah. Stadium was packed too. Everybody was there having a great time. So, overall good game. Like I said, it was fantastic to be a part of it. Everybody around us seemed like they were having a good time. Didn't matter who we were rooting for. That's good. It was a great time. So it was more about the vibes in the game at that point. No, I'm kidding. But the game was still good too. So I was in the corner of one of the end zones, so I kind of saw, Derrick Henry score right there in front of us and the field goal block and all that. So it was cool. So great experience.
Yep.
But yeah, moving on to the next game. It's going to be the Chargers versus Denver. Not too much to talk about. I mean, the Chargers are still running the ball. They're still.
Bo Nix stinks. It was 23-0 at the fourth quarter. You're going to look at Bo Nix stats here, and you're going to say, "Oh, he did a good job." It was 23-0 with 12 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Okay. And I think the final score ended up 23-16. Okay, so don't let the stats fool you. Broncos don't have anything resembling an offense. They have a defense. Vance Joseph is doing great. And the Chargers are the Chargers. I think the Chargers are in that place where because they're in cap hell right now, they can't really improve. So what is really going to improve them is coaching. And I think you're seeing pretty good coaching on this side.
Yeah, and I think a lot of their new pieces are going to have to step up. I mean, Ladd, McConkey, and that other running back he's taking Gus Edwards' place because he's on IR.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got to step up and kind of show out. Like you said, they're in cap hell, so this team just has to get better just with what they got. So overall, I mean, they look pretty decent, but it's a Denver team that's not that good, if you ask me. So the best part of their team is that defense, which the Chargers pretty much took advantage of. Woo! Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, Denver's still got to figure some stuff out. I mean, he's an old rookie too, so I mean, he doesn't have too much time to kind of figure everything out. So maybe next year it's a little bit different. Maybe they get some more offensive weapons. I don't know.
It's not the end of the year. But, I don't care. Don't like Denver.
All right, moving on to the next game, which wasn't too exciting either. It's going to be the Raiders versus the Steelers.
Yeah, Justin Fields played decent. TJ Watt is still now that unfortunately Aiden Hutchinson is out for the season. It's TJ Watt's DPOY to lose again.
Yeah.
Caused 2 forced fumbles in this game?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look, the Steelers are great defensively. And they're with Justin Fields, they're pretty decent offensively.
The Raiders are bad.
Looks like they'll be starting Russell Wilson this week, but we'll get to that later.
We'll talk about that.
The Raiders are bad. I feel bad for Antonio Pierce. Had to trade away Devontae Adams. We'll get to that later as well. But the Raiders just are not good. Their coaching staff is just
still a piece of garbage.
They're just not good. They don't do anything relatively well. I feel bad for Max Crosby. He's the heart and soul of that team, but it's so set. I don't almost put my hand on it, man. My finger on it. They're just not good. Just not good. Just not a good football team.
And another thing that happened this week is Tom Brady became a minority owner in the Rams. Excuse me. Wow, the Raiders.
So that means he cannot ever come out of retirement.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, I don't know what role he's actually going to play as an owner. I don't know if he's going to be able to kind of help out in operations, anything like that. He's a former player, so he kind of knows what he's talking about.
For sure.
But maybe he helps with rebuilding this team. I don't know. But I think the main thing that this team needs to figure out is what they're going to do next, whether they're going to draft a quarterback this offseason, whether they're going to go for another veteran that's available free agency trade for somebody. I don't know. But I think really the first thing they have to figure out is the QB.
Yeah, absolutely. That two QBs just aren't good enough.
Yeah, I think they're just scrambling right now to figure something out. Once they have a solidified QB, work out everything else, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this coaching staff's going to be here at the end of the year. You know, nobody knows kind of what these owners decide and, you know, what the team decides, general managers, all that.
Yeah.
So I think this team just has some stuff to figure out. Again, we're only 1/3 away through the season. Things could switch, right? Who knows? But it's just not looking too good right now.
Yeah.
And I expect a little bit more from the Raiders coming into this year, but you know, things happen. So Minshew project did not work. Aiden O'Connell to be determined. Yeah,
Jeez,
I mean,
man.
most of these teams are kind of in weird places with QBs. I mean, like you said, we got Justin Fields doing decently, kind of, you know, here and there. Then all of a sudden, hey, Russell Wilson's healthy. Let's throw him in next week. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll wait and see kind of what they decide to do. But enough about those two teams, just because we could talk about them all day, about issues, about things that they could do, things that aren't being done.
If y'all want content like that, where we deep dive some teams, let us know.
Yeah, we can do some deep dives here and there. So, yeah. But next game, not much to talk about either, but the Lions.
Happy birthday, Jerry
Oh,
Jones.
my God. Lions versus Cowboys. We're not going to dwell on this too much just because the Cowboys got destroyed.
Shellacked in Jerry's world.
Aiden Hutchinson unfortunately got hurt very badly. And like we said, hope best for him. Yeah, I mean, Lions still look hot. These guys could definitely win the Super Bowl.
Look, we both of us saw this coming. I don't know if we saw this magnitude coming.
No, absolutely not.
The Lions... Listen, don't piss the Lions off.
No, absolutely
They
not.
hold grudges.
Oh, my God. Especially Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, my gosh. The Lions ran 3 trick plays to linemen in one game.
That's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
They lined up the first play of the game. They reported Dan Skipper as an eligible receiver.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah. Dan Campbell and the Lions, they hold grudges.
They do not care.
They don't care about you. And
the Cowboys didn't even get a touchdown.
No, they didn't. The Cowboys are just not suited to play. Yeah, I don't think Michael Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence would have made much of a difference in this game. Maybe one less touchdown, but every other thing on the defense for the Cowboys just isn't good enough. And their offense is literally Dak and CD. There's nobody else. So the Cowboys are in the mud. But because of the NFL, they'll probably win a couple more games, depending on who they play. But it's not looking too hot for them. But the Lions, y'all take a big blow, Aiden being gone, but they're still Super Bowl contenders for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this team. I would have expected the Lions to win by maybe 2-3 touchdowns, something like that. But the way they won is it's weird. The Cowboys, I don't know if it's just because their play caller, I don't, you know, what's going on, right? They lost Brandon Cooks, okay, but like you said, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, they probably would have made a little bit more of a difference, but it's a team game overall. You can't just rely on 1 or 2 players to be back and to save your season. You know what I mean? You still have your star quarterback that you paid so much money to. You still have CD. You got Zeke back for a reason. Dowdle's not doing enough. And then Ferguson, he looked good when he was being used. Now he's not being used enough. And it's just, the team's all over the place. Yeah, there's teams with problems that aren't supposed to be good. And then there's teams with problems like the Cowboys that are supposed to be good. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
There's a difference. Some of these teams don't have QBs to the caliber of Dak, which don't get me wrong.
Some of these teams don't even have a wide receiver as good as CD.
Yeah, and it's just like things like that. They don't have a Micah Parsons, you know, all that stuff. They don't have 2 corners that are supposed to be, you know, lights out, shut down corners like that. So stuff like that, man. It's embarrassing at this point. I mean, happy birthday, Jerry Jones, but something's got to get figured out, man. So, good job, Lions. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Lions, you handle business.
Montgomery just got paid too.
So, yeah, he did. And Lee McNeil as well.
Yeah, big man.
Yeah, so Detroit knows how to take care of business on the field and take care of business off the field. So shout out to them. Great stuff. Let's move on to Kirk O'Chains.
Not much to talk about this game either. Yeah. I mean, Falcons versus Carolina.
Keep pounding those L's.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie, don't get me wrong. He's still providing a little bit of hope, but Yeah, it's not looking good, guys.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Atlanta takes the dub, big dub for them, 36-20, I believe. Carolina stinks. Their defense is really, really bad. Andy Dalton makes them a little bit presentable.
Yeah, that's it.
Xavier Legette is playing better. Chuba Hubbard is a talent.
Still running, and you know what? They just activated Jonathan Brooks, the running back rookie. So I think he might get a couple touches this week. They might slow him into the offense.
For sure.
I think Miles Sanders loses his job if he does ball out. So I wouldn't be surprised if Miles gets traded before the end of the deadline. Just because I think Jonathan Brooks, they drafted him high, so I think they expect him to be a part of this offense whenever he's ready, right? But yeah, Atlanta won a game that they should have won.
Yeah, for sure.
Simple.
They dominated the game. They should have dominated, and Atlanta's rolling. So good on them. Sunday night's game, Cincy versus New York. New York's defense is actually pretty good, but
I didn't watch this game.
I caught a little bit of it. Their defense is actually pretty solid. It's just that they won't win any more games because their left tackle was out for the season.
Oh, Andrew Thomas. Yeah, you're right.
No, I think it was Evan Neal.
Which
one is the All-Pro?
Are you sure? I thought it was Andrew Thomas that's out, man.
Well, one of them.
I'm almost certain it's Andrew Thomas, but you guys can correct us in the comments.
Your All-Pro left tackle had Lisfranc surgery, and he's out for the rest of the season.
Dang, maybe it is Evan Neal. Nah, I don't know. You know, the only thing that I did see in this game, though, was
the Joe
Burrow taking that thing to the house.
Oh, Joe Burrow got wheels, right?
I could do this.
I didn't know Joe could run like that, man. It's probably
now that cringy look that he gave afterwards wasn't anything like to be excited about.
That's how you know this team is not going anywhere, man.
Hey, chill out,
Cincinnati struggled again. Giants defense is actually pretty good, but again, you struggle against. You put up only 17 against the Giants. When you have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown.
A win is a win.
It is, but sometimes how you win kind of does matter. But hey, look, you're right. A win is a win. Great win. Nah, I can't even say that. Good win by the Bengals and the Giants.
Let me say this real quickly. So imagine winning like 17 to whatever it was, 11 or 10, whatever. I don't know, 7. My bad, right? And then imagine losing, scoring 30 plus points, and then missing a kick in overtime. You get what I'm saying? I think this is a better win than what they experienced last week, right? I know it's not 30 plus points and all that.
We would all definitely rather win for sure. We would all rather win. I'm not disputing that, but the caliber of opponent.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Giants aren't anything.
They're not the Ravens.
Yeah, but you know, take the dub and move on.
Definitely take. They need the dub because they need to come back for sure. Not much there, but I guess the last game from last week, Buffalo, New York. I watched this game after I got back from my soccer game.
I watched this game too, and
it was. I didn't like what I was seeing
from either team.
Shout out for both teams for making a trade right after this game.
They realized, hey, something's got to change. Let's bring in Amari Cooper for the Bills, and let's bring in Devontae Adams for the Jets, whose hamstring is all suddenly healed.
Magic.
It's all ready to go.
Do y'all believe in magic?
We might see him this Sunday.
It's not a might. He's gonna play.
Yeah. This guy.
Hey, watch this. The first play goes to Devontae Adams. Just watch. It's like a backside fade, just to rub it in their face or something.
We'll talk about it next week. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it in the next episode. This game seemed like it was like, what's going on? Josh Allen, do something. You know, like little meme with the stick and do something. Yeah.
How many missed field goals? 4?
I mean, yeah, but that was the wind. It was like 4 missed field goals.
Yeah, but if it's the wind, like there's a certain way you can kick it.
You're absolutely right, but even when they tried it, they missed by like this much.
That's true.
Or I think it hit the post. I
think there's 2 doinks.
Yeah, exactly. Doinks. So I think the kickers got a lot of hate after this game.
They did.
But again, I mean, if the win is unbearable like they said it was, which the announcers and commentators, everybody, yes. I wouldn't blame the whole game on them. I'd blame it on the quarterbacks who needed to step up, which is what Rodgers didn't do. except he threw a Hail Mary at the end of the first half, which, okay, 50-50 ball. Alan Lazard, your boy, got it. But it shouldn't come down to that, right?
Yeah.
Second half, absolutely disgusting. Bills, congratulations on your win. This is when we talk about, like, you know, either they win crazy or they take a dub and readjust, which they did after.
Which was, it's funny you say the adjust because they blew teams out of the water the first 3 weeks.
Correct.
And then teams realized, oh, wait, they don't have a number one receiver.
Yep. And then just went downhill.
It's downhill. Now it's just Josh Allen be Superman. But I will give Josh Allen credit because as much as they've been struggling, he has 0 interceptions on the season.
Man, you know what he said about that too? He said, no, I've thrown some interceptions. They just haven't caught them. That's like, okay, he's self-aware.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've messed up,
Yeah.
but guess what? I got saved.
Yeah, okay.
So-
gotta love the self-awareness.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is self-aware. I think he's still hanging on to what he was a couple years ago. He's got his boy back. Maybe that changes things. Who knows? But it's not like you don't have star power already in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard. And he blamed the game on Mike Williams. But if one play ruins your game, come on now. Like, you had a whole 3 other quarters of a game to show that you're better than what you've been performing.
Seriously, man. It's just...
And you just haven't been performing. I like people who come out and say, hey, I haven't been doing what I have to do. Point blank.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And some athletes are capable of doing that. Some aren't, which I get.
You hold your teammates accountable in private.
Yeah, exactly.
hold yourself
Don't come out there and
accountable
say,
in
yeah,
public.
he ran the wrong route.
Nah, come on.
Okay, yeah.
You do that in private.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. Aaron Rodgers is showing a different side of himself these last couple of years, and who knows what's going on with that anymore? Who knows? I mean, they got a interim head coach, they got a new play caller. Everything's just seems like it's changing, and I don't know who's making the calls, whether it be the owner, whether it's the GM, or whether it's the quarterback that you guys are putting your whole pot into. I don't know. So they're gonna try to win this year. I doubt they do any better. I don't think they were one wide receiver away from a Super Bowl. I think they have a lot of
what's
other things
funny
to fix.
was they were supposed to be an Aaron Rodgers away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and now we see
they're not.
They're not. This team is pretty flawed. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett has made. You know what? We're gonna get into that later.
He's not even the play caller anymore.
He's not the play caller anymore. You're right, but I just don't think the staff of coaches is any good anymore.
No,
maybe Jeff Ulrich might be the best coach on that staff because the defense was always playing well, but now they're not really playing that well. And Salah's out here. I saw a video of him on Twitter.
Yeah, he was getting out to the grocery store. He's like living the dream.
Living the dream.
Yeah, there you go. Living my best life or living the dream.
Oh,
but
man.
It's insane. I don't know. Both these teams are underperforming. But guess what? The Bills are still probably going to win the division because
Miami,
New England's still. Well, Miami might get Tua back apparently. So I don't know how that's going to go, but yeah. All right, yeah.
That's going to end the recap, but we have a preview for tonight's game. Denver at New Orleans.
I'm taking New Orleans.
Really?
Taking New Orleans.
Okay.
I know you're taking Denver because everything points to Denver right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I really do think another week for Spencer Rattler being in the offense and taking
Olave and
Rashid. Hear me out. Let me explain. Let me explain real quick.
I'm gonna let you cook.
New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara, right? Dog. Absolute monster.
Absolutely, yes.
6 touchdowns in a game or 7 touchdowns, whatever it was, right? With the Christmas cleats and everything.
I remember that.
That's what I'm saying.
Beast.
I think they can run the offense through Kamara, and they also have Moreau and Jawan Jennings. No, what's his name? Jawan, the tight end. Might be Jawan Jennings too, actually. Jawan Johnson. There we go. My bad. Right? I think the tight ends play a huge role in this offense. I think they're going to be the safety blankets for Spencer Rattler, right? Along with Kamara. Don't get me wrong. I think Kamara is going to have a terrible day. I think they're going to workhorse him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I think the wide receivers being out is a huge, disadvantage for them. But Jamal Williams also is there too. So
I don't know any other wide receivers outside of Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't. So I
at this moment I don't, but I know they have another one. I think it's I can't remember his name, to be honest with you.
Maybe we should hit up. Remember, we had a friend who's a Saints fan. Anyway,
No,
moving on.
Anyways,
I'll just pick Denver because
all signs point to them.
all signs do point to Denver, and I reluctantly. The over under is 37.5. Take the under. If you're betting, I'd say take the under because I don't think Bo Nix can really do much. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think it's gonna be another boring Thursday night game. But Vance Joseph's defense, even without Pat Surtain, is going to kind of just make a mess out of Spencer Rattler's. It's not even a home debut because they were home last week.
Yeah.
But, another start for him in New Orleans. So I've got Denver.
Who's the favorites?
Denver. They're 3-point favorites.
Yeah, I still take Saints. Yeah.
Dad?
Yeah.
We can get tickets as low as $28.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, yeah. I don't think anybody's really too excited about this game. I mean, I'm trying to make myself excited. I want to see Kamara do his thing, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how the game turns out. Hoping Saints win, but might be Denver. I don't know. I mean, you know, I was calling them to be the worst team this year, but no, the Browns definitely won that trophy. So yeah, good for them. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that's it. I think that's a wrap. I think we yapped long enough. A little technical difficulties here and there today, actually. So yeah, we've been going at it for a while today. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I mean, you got anything else to say?
No, just like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Again, if you guys would like some deep dives on some teams,
put them in the comments.
Put them in the comments.
Whatever team you want us to deep dive, we'll do it.
Yeah, we can dedicate an episode to that one team and see what we could.
I don't know about a whole episode, maybe like a half episode.
Okay,
we'll see. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
catch you on the next episode of Jump Off Sides.
Adios.